everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be breaking out our old stamps out of a stash to create a funky page on some denim in our Dina Wakley journal. So I love using the denim pages, and for some strange reason this is the way I tend to use them. I don't know why, but I really like it. So I'm just scraping on some white gesso. I'm not filling up the whole page because I want some of that blue shining through. Once I've dried it off, it does take a little while because obviously you're putting it onto fabric, so it takes a little while to dry. And then I'm just going in with lots of bright colours and sort of just doing this random rainbowy colour pattern in the background. So I'm using sky, a little bit of yellow, I'm going to be using some tangerine and some magenta as well, just overlaying colour. So I'm going in, and as I tend to do with a lot of things, I'm doing 3 patches. I just find it sort of gives those visual triangles to your page. I'm also not painting in the entire piece of gesso. I'm just sort of going into the little gaps and so on and filling in the way I like it. I am making sure before I add a new colour I am heat setting or drying my paint in between, just so it doesn't blend. So with my blues and yellows, for example, I didn't want to make another green. I want to add this green in with my yellows and pinks. I didn't want to sort of end up with an orangey colour. So just be aware that if you don't want your colours to mix, you want to keep the true colour on the page, you need to make sure your layers are dry before you add the next layer. And it doesn't need to be entirely dry, but the surface needs to be dry, so you're not going to be mixing. Because I'd got rid of all my white, because I did actually think I left some, but I worked out how, because I re-stenciled some in over the top. So I really love this dot stencil. It's so simple, but I use it so often. It's a great way to put pattern in the background, and if you didn't have any, you could make your own using an office hole punch to do something similar. So having just really simple geometric stencils are a brilliant way to add some texture into your pieces. So I really like this, but I wasn't actually 100% sure what I wanted to do with it. So at the moment, off screen, I'm going through my box of stamps and stencils and thinking, what do I do now? I like this, but what next? Because like everything I do, I get carried away and just do something, and then when I get to this stage, it's like, okay, that looks nice, what next? So I found these really old stamps from Dina Wakley of these sort of fashion figures, and I'm stamping them out onto a cardboard. I bought them after doing a gel printing class. They're not actually really stamps I would ever go for, but I've used them occasionally and I've liked them when I've used them. But yeah, they're a funny old one, but like all Dina Wakley stamps, I think I really love the sort of really sketchy lines and the shapes of the images. So I've stamped them out onto some cardboard with my archival ink, and then I'm just fussy cutting around them. And as I laid them down on the page, I actually really liked them in that little grouping. I thought they looked really funky together, so I wanted to work out how I could have them on the page, and I liked them in the rainbow colour in the background. The thing that was going through my head was, how am I going to tie this together so they're not floating in the air? They needed to be grounded in some way, shape or form. So that was my bit of problem solving that was going through my brain. While I was doing that, I found this quote as I was searching for the old stamps. I think this is a Darkroom Door stamp, which says, live the life you imagined. As I was putting my stencils away, I came across this stencil, which again is a Dina Wakley stencil, and you can see it's a brand new stencil because I haven't touched it. So it's this lovely chevron pattern, and I thought, oh, that'd be a great way to actually anchor my figures. And by having my figures on the page, it also can hide where I put too much paint on there and actually overpainted my stencil and had it bleed through a little bit. So you can see I've just covered that up beautifully. So sometimes having stamped images that you can chuck over where you need to is really, really handy. I also put down some washi because I wasn't particularly happy with the middle lines of the stenciling, but I decided in the end I didn't like it. I didn't like that pop of red too much across the center. I rather have the blue to sort of pick up the blue of the denim. Instead, to highlight those lines back on the chevron pattern, I actually just went in with a white paint pen, and I really liked how that ended up looking. So now I'm putting my figures together and overlapping them. So that's probably one of the most important things, is to make sure that your figures overlap, particularly if you're putting them in the group, so they look natural together. I did use the little bit of height washi that I had there and to put the heights on the figures, which again, while I liked having them white, having that little pop of colour on them added to it. Finally, I'm just going around the edge of my quote with a black ink pad to make sure that it stands out from the background. So there you can see it's a really quick and easy page, but it was lots of fun. It's so bright and happy, and I love the fact that I was using some supplies that I haven't used in a long time to make this page. So that in itself made me happy. So I hope you go through your old stamp stash and see what you've got hidden away in the cupboards, and see how you can use those on some of your modern art journaling pages. Until next time, bye for now.